Well, Josh, let's just dive into it. How does the wheat crop look across Oklahoma so far?
Well, Dave, for the most part, we've been blessed with some rains throughout September. Some guys got 2 or 3 different rain showers over the last 4 weeks. So we've had a lot of wheat go in the ground over the last 3 weeks. A lot of guys going after that dual purpose, get some fall pasture out of this wheat crop. And our rye and triticale acres are up as well. Obviously, we had some issues getting that forage production, but with that moisture, the crop that has been planted is off to a good start. Over half of our acres are almost already planted by this time. As we know, Oklahoma, for the most part, anywhere 1/3 to almost 2/3 of the wheat crop is usually for that dual purpose. And with the commodity prices the way they are, a lot of farmers are cashing in on the option to dual purpose to get a little beef production off those acres. So we had a lot of guys going into the planting season wanting some good fall pasture. And for the most part, we've had some pretty good success getting it up and going. But there have been some issues with insects, and some heavy rain showers have caused some crusting issues as well. Utilizing systems like no-till so you can get more infiltration of that rain to capture it, to use for the next crop, are some management options the farmer needs to look at. Using clean till, it'll slick off and we'll have a lot more runoff, so we won't be able to utilize those heavy rainfall events. But for the most part, even this place planted a couple weeks ago had 1.6 inches or so right a couple days after we planted it, and we have pretty good stands here as well. So
let's talk about that. I mean, we're here by Marshall, Oklahoma, and you guys are doing trials on not only dual purpose wheat, but also there will be grain only wheat planted back there.
This is a long-running historical site. On this quarter, we'll move this trial around, but we do a variety trial under a dual purpose scenario where we plant early to try to get that fall vigor, that fall growth. And then also we look at the same variety trial under a grain only system. So on the back there, it's not planted yet. Like I said, this was planted 2 weeks ago. We get a pretty good response on responding from that grazing. How can it handle those stresses? And kind of long term, we've seen one of the major impacts on a producer, if they're really after a grain crop, it's not so much the grazing pressure limiting that yield, it's the planting date. As you can see in the background there where we haven't planted the grain only plot yet, we have a lot of weeds out there. So planting later, we can avoid a lot of insect issues like we've had with fall armyworm and grasshoppers, and also weed pressures. If we get those flushes of weeds up and either chemically fallowed with herbicide or with tillage, we can get a lot of those weeds to flush and terminated before we plant the wheat crop.
Josh, what are some of the concerns and some of the options for those producers that are thinking about coming off of a summer crop onto wheat?
As we've seen the last couple of years, we've seen an increase in summer crops, and they've done fairly well. We've been getting some good rains, good temperatures throughout the summers. As those farmers shift a few more acres to those summer crops, they have to have that foresight on if they really want fall pasture, they still have to leave some ground for wheat. Those late planted acres are still an option if we got good moisture, soil moisture. So evaluate the farm after you've harvested that summer crop and be realistic on what options you have.
Okay, well, thank you much, Josh Bushong, the area specialist for Northwest Oklahoma. And for more information on wheat production in Oklahoma, go to our website, sunup.okstate.edu.